Hey everyone, welcome into this Rev Show webinar. I'm Rob.
And I'm Ruben.
And you're going to learn today how to
grow your business with video. This webinar is going to be a truly transformative experience for you because we're going to teach you how to jump over so many of the blocks that people in sales and marketing experience. Let's face it, a lot of our emails go to spam folders, a lot of our calls get ignored, and generally speaking, a lot of our messages just get ignored. Did I say ignored twice? I think I said ignored twice.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore the fact that you said that. In this webinar, we're going to show you how video is going to give you and your business the ability to get more connections, more conversations, and at the end of the day, more conversions. Video is powerful. We're going to show you how bringing authenticity through that lens of video is going to get you results. So we're excited to have everybody here.
And speaking of results, this is what we've seen from our data. You can expect to see a 30 to 300% increase in your overall engagement and ultimately your sales if you use the right video marketing and sales techniques. So please consider sticking around for this entire webinar, and we promise to transform the way that you look at video and how it can help grow your business.
Let's talk about two big numbers, all right? 5% and 95%. Less than 5% of the sales and business world, and we might be being generous here, use video in their business sales cycle to grow their revenue. Less than 5%, or about 5%. That means 95% of the business and sales world is not using video in their sales cycle. Video, by every metric, is the most powerful thing you can do to create more connections, conversations, and conversions. And we're going to show you some really powerful metrics right now.
And let's unpack this for just a moment here. Why is it that the vast majority of people in sales and marketing actually do not use video? I think it really comes down to a couple of different reasons. Number one, sometimes people just don't feel comfortable being on camera. They don't like being a part of the production process. They don't like having their face be on a video. Perhaps they even have preconceived notions that recording video is astronomically expensive. The second thing is that they might actually not know that this is one of the best techniques. They might not know that video actually brings the most humanity to the sales and marketing process. And humanity, frankly, is the thing that we're missing most in this whole connection process. And then the third reason why people might not be using video is because they're stuck in older, antiquated processes. Whatever the case may be, and if any of these are relevant for you as to why you are not using video, that's okay. We are here to guide you because a great deal of this technology is brand new. And we're thrilled to evangelize a lot of the greatest and latest technology that you can use to grow your business.
Because remember, the technology has been designed to help you in your sales efforts. It's to make things easier to be you. So what's the number one way to bring authenticity? Well, we think the statistics show it's video, and we're going to show you that right now.
First of all, I was sending them emails. Nobody was responding. I was sending them phone calls. Nobody was responding. I got Dubb and I recorded videos, a $3.4 million deal, and we closed it less than 30 days later after sending this out.
All right, so we're going to jump into some really fun numbers that are going to make your head explode in terms of wow, that is so incredible that video is amazing in that way. The numbers are amazing. But from a highbrow view of why video is one of the most important ways you can communicate in sales, it's going to help with comprehension, it's going to help with engagement, it's going to help with acquisition, and it's going to help with retention. Sometimes people forget about retention. Retention is super important. Once you've got that client, what's a way to keep them engaged and keep them where you want to be? And that's with you. And video does that. Now let's look at these numbers here. These numbers are incredible. All right, let's look at the first one. Video marketing increases conversion rates by 34%.
Now think about this for a second. What would you do with 34% more conversions? Conversions can be form fills on your website, they could be phone calls, emails that you receive, email responses, and even acquiring new clients. 34%, that's great lift to your conversion rate.
And video increases revenue generation speed by 49%.
Now this stat is very interesting because one of the biggest realities of sales is that the larger the deal size, the longer the sales cycle is. The way to solve that problem is not necessarily to keep your prices low or never to increase them. It's to add video to the process to speed up your sales cycle.
And video increases landing page conversions by 80%.
In today's digital era, landing pages are the currency of sales. It's where you need to direct traffic so that they can educate themselves and then ultimately convert to being a client of yours. Imagine if you could increase your conversion rates on your landing pages by 80%.
Video increases the chances of a website revisit by 53%.
Now, here's another statistic. When it comes to your landing pages, 95 to 98% of your traffic is going to disappear. They're never going to convert. It's the 2 to 5% that ultimately becomes your warm prospects and then hopefully your clients. Imagine if you could capture a larger percentage of that audience that bounces. Video can do that because it creates a visual connection.
Video increases the likelihood of a purchase by 84%.
Now, I think this stat speaks for itself. Ultimately, the goal in business is to get a financial transaction. And all of our clients at some point have to make a purchase. Imagine if you could increase your conversion rates on your purchases by 84%. Video can make that possible.
And here's the big one. We've saved the best one for last. Video is more effective than any other kind of content strategy by 1,200%. I will repeat that. 1,200%.
Let's break this stat down for just a moment. What are all the different types of channels and content types that you can put out for your business? Blog posts, ebooks, webinars, text-based emails, the list goes on. Video is the most effective means of content in terms of selling because it's an audible and a visual medium. And it hits all the senses. It educates, it entertains, and it ultimately proves to someone that it can elevate their life.
Now that we've convinced you with the numbers that video is the most effective way to communicate in sales, but not just video, it needs to be an actionable and trackable video. And that's what we're all about here. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between video and actionable and trackable video, because technically you could send a YouTube link to someone in their email and that's technically using video, but then you're sending to a website that has ads and then all those other rabbit holes, ads and recommended videos down rabbit holes, and you've lost them. You want to be able to send an actionable and trackable video that is targeted with what it has around the video itself. So let's look at that. So the first thing that makes a video actionable and trackable is that beautiful animated GIF. That is the first 3 seconds of a video when it's recorded and we see your face smiling. There's maybe some virtual background behind you, maybe there isn't. The whole point is they see a smiling face and something that is way more engaging by 30 to 300% in terms of click-throughs than a link to a video itself. So you have a scary little quiet little link, or you have a beautiful nice 3-second animated GIF. You want to go with the animated GIF. The second part, when someone clicks on this animated GIF, it takes them to a dedicated, customized landing page. This landing page is going to have everything your client or prospect could possibly want to take an action. There's going to be your logo. There's going to be a dedicated background with an image. There's going to be playlist videos that are going to play right after the video that you've just made. There are going to be call to action buttons below the video. For instance, book a time, check out a case study, text, call, reply with video, anything you can think of where you want that person to take an action, they can take it with a button right below that video. There's going to be a calendar integration. There's going to be a two-way chat. Everything that was designed on this customized landing page was designed to be the ultimate communication and at the end of the day, ultimate conversion environment. And the last part is trackability, one of the most important parts. Okay, let's say they clicked on that animated GIF. They watched that video. You're going to know on your end when you've sent that video out how much of the video have they watched, because remember, that's going to dictate what smart action you're going to take. Has someone watched 1%, 50%, 100%? Those messages are completely different, so that information is very powerful. Also, you're going to know what button did they click on? What CTA did they click? Did they just view the video page? Did they watch it? All of this information is incredibly powerful for you to take the right action. And what is the sales cycle about? It's about action. That's what it's about.
So think about this for just a moment. When your target audience is engaging with the videos that you create, you can actually understand the actions that are taking place. If they're watching the videos, if they're clicking on the calls to action, and based on those activities, you can create smart actions. Things like automated workflows, what we call trust sequences, or automated SMS and email campaigns to go out based on engagement. The world of trackability opens up when it comes to video marketing, because by having the right technology to understand what your prospects are doing, you can create actions to ultimately drive them closer to becoming a client. Now, you might be asking yourself, where can I use video marketing for my business? Well, the answer is simple. Basically, any channel that you're already using, you can add video to it. Whether it's email, SMS, LinkedIn outreach, even print mailers. The world opens up when it comes to video, basically because every medium out there has embraced the medium of video. The question is, are you able to take the right step in the right direction to start video marketing for your sales growth?
Think about this for 1 second. Just by having the word video in your subject line of your email increases open rates anywhere from 10 to 20%. Just think about that for a second. 10 to 20% 20% by having the word video in your subject line. Having that animated GIF, not a link, in the body of your email increases the click-through rates anywhere from 30 to 300%. Those are two powerful numbers that you can look at. It was better to do video. Wouldn't you do that?
One of the things that we always evangelize is the importance of creating content. The world of social media is limitless when it comes to being able to put video content on different channels to attract your ideal audience, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. There is a channel out there that can dramatically change your sales growth. The key here is creating content. One of the things that we always evangelize is a way to create dynamic videos in landscape format for YouTube or portrait format for social media.
The key here is to have fun with your creation. You always want to remember, get to the point as far as what you're talking about. Again, I always reference the great screenwriter David Mamet, get in late, get out early. With these social media videos, whether you're doing them portrait or in landscape, always remember to get right to the point, but be creative with your effects. Maybe there's a certain text that you want to use that's bold and it pops up when you say certain things. Maybe there's certain images or emojis or any kind of extra screen graphic that you can add in terms of an image that will make your point hammer home. Not everyone has a lot of time. We all are extremely busy. So you've got to keep that in mind when you make these videos, whether it's a 15-second video, 1 minute, or 3 minutes. Sometimes people are looking, especially on YouTube, for maybe longer of an explanatory video about how to do something or what is the best way to do that, and they'll see a lot of value in the longer video. But remember, YouTube has YouTube Shorts for a reason. So you can get there and really make important points with a minute or less that people can really hone into. Also, lean into the fact that it doesn't have to be about your service or product. It could be about other topics that are really important to human beings in general that people who work for you or part of your team could really see value from. So don't put yourself in just the business box, open it up to the world of life in general and really search for those topics that people connect with. What we like to talk about is topics that can help people. If you're out there, you're helping people, that is one of the best motivations that you can have. So don't limit yourself in terms of what you're going to be talking about. Just realize, have a good base. Everyone likes to say link tree. Have a good link spine in terms of like having that really good part of you that wants to do good in the world and take advantage of that with social media videos. All right, one of the most powerful things that you're going to give to that other person who watches the video is authenticity. Video is the way that they are going to see the 3D version of you. They're going to get every aspect of you. And that is the most important thing. When you're making these videos, you are putting you out into the world. And you are one of one. You are the only fingerprint of you. Lean into that power. We say now more than ever, the personal is the professional. Because in the world now, you don't need a huge office and a Marblehead desk in front of you. You could be walking on the side of the road with your phone doing a selfie video, and it's just as powerful because it is cutting through the noise and it's getting right to that authentic message of you. So lean into authenticity. Realize that personal is the professional in the world we live in today in terms of branding, whether it's your own company, your own sales team. Lean into yourself and make sure it falls obviously within the guidelines of the company that you work for with their branding. But if you own your own company, you can kind of control that branding, but lean into the personal. The second thing is you want to lean into you, leverage yourself. All right. We talk about leveraging products and services. What's more powerful than leveraging yourself in terms of getting that message across? Video allows you to do that in a very clear and a very concise and convincing way. And the last part is be different. Be that fish that swims in the different direction. Be that sheep that kind of goes off from the herd and goes somewhere else. People are looking for something different. They're looking for something that resonates. And you being yourself, trust me, will be different because it is you and there is no other version of you. So lean into strategies that will make you stand out. And as of right now, we mentioned this at the top of the webinar, less than 5% of the world uses video in the sales cycle. So you're going to stand out if you use video because again, that means 95% of the world is not doing that yet. Lean into authenticity. Be you. Okay, so you've decided to use video now, which is fantastic. We're glad to hear it. What are some best practices? Well, the first thing is right off the top, realize that you don't have to be perfect. You do not have to be perfect. I will say it for a third time. You do not have to be perfect. A lot of people get caught up saying, oh, this has to be perfect lighting. It has to be perfect sound. I've got to say this in the most unbelievable way possible. I've got to emulate my favorite podcast person or video YouTube creator content person. You don't have to do that. 80-20, right? It doesn't have to be 100%. Just do the right things. And we have some best practices here that are going to help you along your journey, but it's one step at a time and don't put massive pressure on yourself. Just take it one step at a time. One of the first ways to start is when you're doing a video is have an even eye line. You don't want a video where the eye line is up here, the eye line's down there, it's off to the side. Just have it sitting at a nice even place. That's the best place for connection. When you're talking to someone in real life, unless you're talking to someone who is in professional sports and you're looking up like this, most of the time we try to have an even eye line, especially when we're sitting down talking to someone if we have a meeting. In this case, you can control the eye line because your camera of your phone or whatever camera you're using will be on a stick or wherever you have it set up above your computer, or you're just holding it with your hand with an even eye line. So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to have have is good front lighting. It doesn't have to be an expensive lighting kit. It could just be a ring light you can get on Amazon. Something where your face, the front of your face is illuminated. You just don't want to look like you're in a closet with no lights on. This doesn't have to be perfect. Again, the one thing you want to make sure of is you don't have harsh shadows where your face is split in two, where you've got the sun and you've got the moon. You got the dark side of the moon on the other side. You don't want that. So just be very aware of what the lighting looks like. And you just want a basic front lighting so people can see you. That's the whole point. The next part is going to be the teleprompter. So this is something that we highly recommend in the sales cycle. So unless you have your stuff memorized cold, where you know every part of it and you're not going to go on and on and on and on and on and on off into different rabbit holes, okay. But if you don't, then we highly recommend using a teleprompter. The teleprompter, when you write out the script, is going to keep you on point and efficient. Maybe you have a prospecting video that you want to get out there and it's got to be 30 seconds. Well, if you're not scripted, you could go into a minute, minute and a half and not even realize it because you're just talking about one point and you get lost. Having a script written out in the teleprompter that scrolls right on an even horizon line that scrolls will keep you on point. And that's the whole point, to be efficient and on point. And you're not losing any information. You're right there doing what you're supposed to do. You can bullet point your script if you'd like to, where it's not written out verbatim, but you have bullet points. Just remember, you've got to know those bullet points really well so you're not going on and on. You want to have good audio. What's the expression? Someone will watch bad visuals, but they won't listen to bad audio. So get a mic like this here. You can get a lapel mic. If you're really close with your phone, the camera's right here, you should be okay in terms of sound. Just realize that people want to hear you. That's the whole point. There's nothing more frustrating than seeing someone really trying to connect with their eyes and how they're looking and the passion that they have, but they can't understand the voice because the volume is really bad or you're in a really noisy area as well. So be very mindful of your environment and have good audio. The last part, brevity. Be quick, get right to the point. Everyone's busy. Jump right into the most interesting part of your script. Say hello, get right into it. People will appreciate that. And when people realize that you are being efficient for their time as well as yours, they're really going to appreciate it.
Now, hopefully so far this webinar has changed the way that you think about how you can use video to grow your business. There's a couple of things that are key when it comes to scale. Now, just to give you the definition of scale, scale is actually something that's more attractive than growth because scale means that you can attain more output without putting additional inputs in, which means you don't need to hire more people. Growth, on the other hand, assumes that you have more inputs that result in more outputs. Video will give you scale because it allows you and your team to clone yourselves. Now, here are the keys. Number one is figure out a way to build your team and to delegate the appropriate tasks. There might be certain people in your organization that are responsible for prospecting and for bookings, and then other folks who are responsible for actually onboarding your clients. Building your team is critically important. The next thing is to figure out a short-term, a medium-term, and a long-term strategy to figure out who is responsible for what type of video content are we creating, what are the channels that we're distributing this content, and then ultimately how are we driving more conversions. And then the last thing, which is my favorite, is automation. What are certain manual tasks that we can convert into automated tasks using workflows, using sequences, using email, SMS campaigns, contact profiling. All of these things will make the lives of you and your team dramatically easier, and they will help you achieve scale. So consider these things as you scale your business, building out your team, developing your strategy, and automating whatever you possibly can.
Thank you so much for attending this webinar, everybody. We're super excited to get this information out there, and we really hope that by now you are strongly in video's corner in terms of its effectiveness in sales and business.
And if you need more support, consider clicking the link below to join one of our live trainings. You can also get a free trial with no credit card required to the Dubb video communication platform, where you can create content, distribute content, and ultimately drive more conversions for your business. If you enjoyed this video, please also consider subscribing to this channel. And if you have a question, leave a comment below. We promise to answer every single one.
Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you at the next webinar. In this webinar...
Hold on. Sorry. Let's start doing this.
Wait, Seb can jump in, though. I think we should keep it consistent because he's been punching in. It looks pretty good.